headache that I have permitting sinuses, but yeah.
Okay, well, go ahead and mute it, and we'll be back, people, in 2.5 minutes. You're listening to me, Gary, on Night Dreams Talk Radio. Check out our website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. I spent a whole day on the website, and then I screwed it up and deleted everything, so I quickly put it back up the best I could, like within a half an hour. But there are some major changes to it, so take a look at it, and we'll be back after the break.
Eons ago, when eagles were born, the Godhead let us reign free. We were on the run and the continuum, making choices in a cosmic spree. To exalt the self or enrich the whole, a thought process that endures today. A conundrum under a naked sun of what to think or when to pray.
You may know us as the Watchers, and we're watching over you. You may find the game is ancient, you might think the game is new. We come from different realms, and we are not all the same. You may know us as the Watchers, but we have our own end game.
Some came with high vibrations to straighten out a mess. Some came for domination in a cosmic game of chess. The final chapter's being written and the dice are being tossed. The game will come unbidden when the game is won or lost.
You may know us as the Watchers, and we're watching over you. You may find the game is ancient, you might think the game is new. We come from different realms, and we are not all the same. You may know us as the Watchers, but we have our own end game.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
You're listening to my friend Gary Anderson on Night Dreams Talk Radio, the best in paranormal radio.
Well, thank you, John. I'm trying, but you know I'm not. But that's okay. You can just give me all the courage to try. Anyway, we are on the radio. We're on the internet. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio. Big shout out tonight to all the truckers out there that download my show, play it when they're on their long hauls. You guys mean a lot to me. Anyway, I'm waiting for a call from Sam. We're going to talk for about a half an hour about cryptics and scary stuff, because this month is Halloween. And boy, do I have some great guests coming on. Tobias Whalen will be on towards the end of the month. I have Jason Offit and a whole bunch of other people, in cryptics, into monsters, black-eyed children, and all those things. Zombies. We'll only be talking about zombies here, I think, tomorrow night. But anyway, I'm trying to spice the show up for Halloween. And by the way, I am not going trick-or-treating this year. I decided to give it up after I hit 67. Anyway, James, are you still there?
Yes, I am still here.
Well, I don't know. You sound, maybe you got sick because you've been eating too much of that stuff with sugar. You got to lay that off of that stuff, It's not healthy for you.
I think it's all the pollen and the 90-plus degree heat has really got my head banging from my sinuses. But, yeah, I think I need to eat more Frosted Flakes. Maybe that'll help me.
Drink a bottle of NyQuil. That'll put you out.
Oh, Lord, yeah, that'd put me out for a day or two.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guess what? Well, Sam, how are you doing tonight? Hey, Sam.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, well, you didn't answer me. I mean, I felt like the worst thing you can do is, having dead air. And, my agent had a long hour talk with Larry this morning. If you notice, all my commercials and everything are flowing really tight because I was told, tighten everything up. And plus, we're hiring a producer for the show. We're going to hire an engineer, which he can operate out of his location, and we'll add another. You see my studio. I got to add another monitor and another computer in here. Where can I do it, Sam? Where am I going to stick it?
I'm glad I don't have the problem yet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I actually had. I know it's the problems of growing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
success breeds more complexity, but you need to do it.
Well, yeah, because we're going to. His plan is by the first of the year we're going to have over 100 stations. We'll see what happens, but I tell you, it'd be nice to have the producer because I spend a lot of my days answering people's mails, working on the website, trying to book people, and I'm running out of time. So the producer can start, doing what a producer does, do some bookings for me and handle that for me. The engineer is going to be really cool because I can be hooked up with a computer. They can tell me, and they can actually take control of the main software here and insert the commercials for me and the breaks and all the bumper music. And I don't have to worry about it. I can just worry about doing what I do, talking with my huge mouth.
Nice. Yeah, it's hard to wear 3 or 4 different hats at the same time and try to keep your focus,
Oh, yeah. So, do you have any scary, we got a half an hour almost, cryptic stories? I don't know if you've been listening to the show, but I was talking about some weird cryptics and weird reportings worldwide of things out there.
The first thought, you guys kept talking about the hybrids that were found all over the place, So all these different kinds of weird animals with human-like features every so often. Have you watched the movie it's an old movie, though, called The Island of Dr. Moreau?
Oh, yeah.
Moreau.
Yeah, I liked it.
Kind of. First thing I thought of. And you know what? Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. And some of these movies are based on things that are really going on, but they do it like fiction so they can tell the people.
Uh-huh.
So, you hear about genetic engineering, and you know that it's banned, supposedly, to a certain degree. They really were upset with stem cell research and everything, and then, okay, so they tell the public, it's illegal to do certain things with genetics, like mixing human cells, for instance, with animal cells and creating embryos that are half human and half whatever. You know what I mean? But how do you really know, we as John Q. public know for sure that that's the case, that they are not doing this? I mean, is it not like we've been told about all the other stuff that they're supposedly doing, in the Black Project area? And I have my suspicions, I guess. I'm not overly paranoid, but I'm definitely wondering if some of the stuff are just rejects that they throw out of their laboratory and just throwing it into the ocean or something, then someone else is finding them. You know what I mean? What do you think?
I don't know. It's some strange things, like seeing a fish. It looks like it has a pigeon head to it. I mean, the photograph, unless somebody was really good doctoring, but I remember hearing about that a couple of weeks ago on the main news. And, it's a lot of strange things, like some animals, like that calf that was born with a human kind of head. And I sometimes
remember that one too.
Yeah, but you live pretty close where I'm going to talk about. Remember years ago there was a guy in Enumclaw that the authorities was trying to bust because for bestiality with a horse?
Oh, it probably was. Since I'm not really from here, over all that time period, I probably missed that one.
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of strange things that could cause a lot of these strange things. But, there's a lot of sightings lately of, like, Bigfoot all over the country, over the world. Like, supposedly in China, was a Bigfoot actually attacking a village and stuff like that. So now supposedly the Chinese military in that area has got, their troops out trying to find it.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of creatures that I had one of my friends who lives in not too far from here. She's up in the Buckley area. And she was staying at one particular person's house that had all strange activity on the green belt that was overlooking the valley of Ording Valley down there. And there's a lot of Bigfoot activity that takes place along that beltway, because there's a body of water. And generally I find that the, Bigfoots or other types of creatures actually make their way through there, back to the mountains and stuff. So there's a lot of weird activity. And then I don't think I related the story about this couple has a small dog, and the dog just suddenly disappeared. Okay, and the dog was in the house. So the last they knew, the dog, it was a small. I don't know the breed necessarily, but it was like maybe a terrier or some type of small dog like that. But anyway, the dog was in the room, and they couldn't find the dog. It was just gone. They looked all over the place, looked outside. 24 hours went by, could not find this dog. And they looked through every square inch of the house. And the door was closed, okay? So they checked the bedroom upstairs. They looked one more time up there. And then closed the door. So they know, and they were there, and they knew nobody went into the door, okay? They got 5 minutes later, they go back to the door, and they find the dog sitting in the closet, petrified. Eyes just they had to take the dog to the vet. It wouldn't eat. It was terrified for days on end. What happened to that dog?
Yeah.
And I just did my last show. I do that Greenwater Nights that I do on Saturday. And my last one was about interdimensional portals. And I'm just wondering, are they zapped? If you want to talk about something scary, how would you like to be zapped right out of your own room? Something opens up like a doorway, grabs you and pulls you out and then brings you back later.
Oh, if you're lucky, brings you back. But what happens if you have to get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and as you jump off the bed, you just keep falling and falling, and then you find yourself in another time in another whatever.
Well, I know. And I'm fascinated with that subject. We want to talk about scary cryptids and everything, but I also think about scary doorways, too, that you can fall right down through and possibly never come back. Obviously, a lot of missing people that end up in David Pleida's books, with Missing 401, may possibly be victims of some of that. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a lot of things we still don't know about our planet. We really don't.
Oh.
There are like black holes out there. There's wormholes and all that stuff. And seriously, they could be, gateways on our planet to take you who knows where.
I know. And the more we learn, what's the old adage? The more we learn, the less we know. Okay?
Yeah.
And it's so true. And even with my own research, because I'm a researcher as well, and I try to dig down the rabbit hole, but the rabbit hole gets bigger and deeper.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the bottomless pit. You can't get to the bottom of something. No pun intended.
Now, the hard part is when you get somebody or something go down the rabbit hole to get it come back out.
You hope so. But I do have a couple of things. I probably may have related these before. These are personal experiences that I had, and they involve right on my property. So one of my favorite ones was the fact that I already told in our discussions in the past that the Bigfoots or the cryptids have my number. They've had one thing I find is once they have interaction with you or something, they pretty much stick with you. They come around maybe your property or something. I once had was taking care of a gentleman here in my RV, which is next to my cabin, and he was he was not a believer in any of this stuff. I mean, yeah, Bigfoot's just